Right.
in between here and there, how do individuals stay afloat through the turbulence? And, why do we have to embrace change in times like this? Or what is the risk of not embracing change?
Right. So it's going to be difficult. And this is what really makes me a little bit, sad, over the coming, let's say, months or even years, is that we already have a situation where the bottom half of the population in the U.S. is so stretched. And this is what I wrote about my financial feudalism piece, that they've taken on so much debt just to survive, to try to buy housing. Like, so for example, one of the big problems is 40 years ago or so, if you look at the ratio, two important ratios, the ratio of income, let's say real median income to housing prices, or real median income to a college degree, those things were attainable, okay, for people without taking on an enormous amount of debt, and then still barely, being able to make your mortgage payments. It was an attainable thing. And we were, as I mentioned earlier, at the beginning of a huge asset boom. So you had all these generations that were able to buy all these things at a reasonable valuations, and we were in the beginning of an asset boom. Now we're at the end of, this most likely at the end of this 40-year debt bubble. And asset prices may not increase like that going forward. I mean, they probably won't. And so, what's going to happen to young people? I mean, what's going to happen to young people with a ton of debt that can't afford a house now? They're not having children because of that insecurity. I don't know. I really understand, as much as I disagree with the actual policies, a lot of the policies of Sanders, I understand his supporters. I understand why they're gravitating to that, because it's this desperation. I mean, if I were 30 looking to start a family, and I wasn't, in a fortunate position I'm in, and I had a lot of debt, and I'm looking at the future, I'm thinking this is extremely bleak. So I don't know how we're going to help that. I don't know how that gets worked out. It could get worked out by gigantic deflation, I suppose, but I don't know if that's the right solution. So I don't know. I mean, the truth of the matter is, it's still too early to know how this is going to help out. But we really need to be thinking about the fact that an entire generation isn't forming families and is completely indebted, and so we're just so far gone. We've lost compassion, empathy. We're not thinking about our fellow people at all in this crazed pursuit of asset bubbles and power. We just need a complete revival. We need an ethical revolution. That's the real consciousness revolution. I mean, if there's one revolution, I want to really see, it's that. And that, as I was mentioning earlier, with the individual, what an individual, it starts with you. It starts with your mind, starts with your consciousness, all of us. Because right now we're an extremely unconscious, unethical, immoral people, quite frankly, as a whole, and particularly the people in leadership positions, the people with the resources. And I've been very frustrated, because I had, I was in a job that paid very well. I'm also come from a privileged background. I've had things pretty easy compared to a lot of other people. And so I've seen it as my sort of duty to speak out and try to do what I can. But what I notice is 99% of my socioeconomic class does nothing of that. They're just completely obsessed with this tunnel vision of getting more and being richer. And there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things and being successful, but to just completely be okay with the hollowing out and predatory nature of our society and culture to our fellow people, to just not care at all, is horrible. And I hope we change.
Well, I mean, I don't want to leave us on that dark of a note, but we're actually running out of time here. We could change, and that's positive. That's a beautiful thing about it. Is it's really, the decision is up to each and every one of us. Yeah. And so with that, we're going to leave you. I mean, I could talk to you for another 5 hours. This is such a pleasure for me, despite the dark topics we kind of touched on. But if you want to learn more from Mike, check it out from libertyblitzkrieg.com. Obviously, we're going to have more and more interviews like this. So hopefully we can get you the best information as soon as possible. And for Real Vision, I'm Drew Bessette. Thanks for joining us.